Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mixed Media Monday. I am Ophelia Staton and thank you guys so much for joining along, and I hope that you've had a good time playing along with us so far. Make sure that you post your finished photos or your finished artwork to hashtag Jerry's Artorama on Instagram and Ophelia's Art Studio on Instagram with using the hashtag Mixed Media Monday. Today, we're doing a little something different where, we've made our way through the holidays and it was great, and it's now's the time to just kind of settle in, and I hope that you found some time in your studio. Today, we're just going to use a Valentine's theme and create a little bit of a gift for a special friend. I always like to give my friends something handmade because I think it's such a great feeling when I give something handmade. So today we're going to make some cards, and we're going to use the Valentine's Day theme or the holiday as an excuse to give the card. And so I hope you guys will play along. For this lesson, I am going to use some Strathmore mixed media paper, and all I've done is I've taken the 9x12 size and I've cut it down. I've taken one sheet, cut it down into 4x6s because I want to use these as the base for my card front. And I use the Strathmore mixed media cards, which looks like this. They come in a box, but I just didn't feel like carting the box around. So this is it's the mixed media cards. They come in packs of like 25 or 50. I just have the 100. And it looks like this. We're going to finish this card, attach it to this base, and we'll have some quick gifts for our friends. So I would love for you guys to play along. This is something it's super simple, and it's just an easy way to just gift something handmade to a friend. So let's just jump right in. The first thing that I'm going to do, and I've taken a little bit of gesso and just put a thin layer of gesso on each one of these 4 card bases. And I usually like working in 4s so that by the time I'm done, I'll at least have one that I'm happy with that I can then attach to the card base. So I start out with 4, doing the same thing to all 4, and then kind of honing them down as I make my way through the 4. The first thing I'm going to do is take my well-loved Jerry's Jumbo Jet black pencil, and I'm just going to, it's almost like breaking them in, where these 4 little pieces are almost seen as a blank canvas. And so in order for me to just kind of break them in, I just use this Jerry's Jumbo black pencil to make some marks. So like I said, I do the same thing on all 4 cards, or I make my way around the 4 cards as I'm working. And the only thing I want to do right now is to just make some marks. What I do know is now that I've got this, it's almost like just my studio practice of me coming in, making the marks, and now I'm just kind of ready to go. Once I've got these marks down, and one thing that I love about this pencil is it provides me with such a nice dark black mark. However, I know that this black mark will move. If I were to put some of this yellow pink with it, they would mix together and make green. So the first thing I know that I want to do is to be a little bit careful as to which colors I choose first. So with that being said, I'm going to pull over my palette here for just a second and just kind of show you guys the colors that I'm going to work with today. I'm using all Lukas Cryl Studio paints in titanium white, Carmine. This is light gray. I've got some rose, some Indian yellow, and then a little bit of magenta. I'll throw a little bit of that in. It's the fluorescent magenta, just to kind of add a little bit of pop of color. But I know I wanted to use, for instance, this color grouping, just to kind of go along with the Valentine's theme. So let's get started. I'm just going to use some of that titanium white, and I don't know if you can see here. I don't freaking know who I'm talking to. I don't know if you can see here, but as I mix this or put some white paint over it, it turns gray. That's my favorite part of using this pencil. It's like, I love the way that it it just reacts, or it just changes with layering it or layering paint on it. Another thing that I like is I like the fact that I can, for instance, put paint on top of this pencil, but then I can also take the pencil that I've now lost. Here it is. I can take the same pencil and make marks back into wet paint. And to me, that it's just my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to carry on just putting some paint down. It's almost like a give and take, where I put paint on, I take paint off, I put marks down, I take marks away, and just kind of push and pull as I work. And that's kind of the way that I've always worked. With that being said, that Jerry's Jumbo Jet pencil, I like for making like my big daddy marks, if that makes sense. So I like to use this to make my big marks. However, a regular 2B pencil, and I've got just like the, it's a 4B or a 2B. I like to use just a regular graphite pencil to just make smaller marks in wet paint, because it kind of creates a cool textured effect as well. So I'm going to keep going, adding some color, and just kind of seeing where this goes. And I'm just going to keep putting paint down and remembering that anything that I do to one card, I'm kind of almost working in a series where anything that I do to one, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other. So I'm putting yellow down on all four. And I'm going to let's put some of this pink. And I often like to think of these as this first step. It's like you're getting dressed for a big night out. And so I am just kind of selecting my clothes that I'm going to wear for the night. And I'm getting dressed, and I am putting my clothes on. And when I get dressed and I get everything on and I get find the perfect outfit for the night, then I will come back in and put on my jewelry, which I will show you what that process looks like in just a minute. And I'm not sure if anybody else has noticed, 54,000 brushes, and I've not touched one yet. This is some good junk. Okay, carrying on, Ophelia. Okay, I feel as though I'm now at the point where all four have their clothes on, if that makes sense. So now it's time for me to start like fine tuning them, and as I like to say, now I get to like add the details or put your jewelry on, or your special necklaces or whatever for that evening. So then this is the time where decisions are made, and if I will use things like some inks, I will definitely bring back my Jumbo Jet pencil, my regular 2B graphite pencils, and then I just kind of play around. So maybe I'll start with this one. This one, trick check. Ooh. So with that, for instance, it's not dry yet, but like first card, is done, and once it all dried, I would just adhere it to the card base. But I just kind of keep going, working my way around until I get all 4 of them finished. Or I guess I like to work in 4s so that each one I just kind of push it a little bit more, push it a little bit more, push it a little bit more, but knowing that in the end I'll at least have one good card that I can send. So as I'm working, I usually just kind of shove them off to the side and pick up another one and keep going. All right, so there's 2. Look at how fast this is going. Now that I've gotten them all 4 done, and I think this guy will be the one that I send to my friend. And all I would do then is take myself my tape runner and let's just do it carefully. Okay, that junking, careful. Here we go. Half the card is going to stick to the table. Oops, am I even on film? Sorry. I'm just going to use a tape roller and adhere this to the card. It's just not thoroughly dry. And put my name down here in the corner. And my friends get a nice homemade card. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I hope you've enjoyed just making a simple gift. That's what this whole episode is about. Just you giving a little bit of you to your friends by way of a handmade card. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to share on Instagram and use at Jerry's Artorama and at Ophelia's Art Studio, and use the hashtag Mixed Media Monday. We'll see you next time. Bye. I almost forgot. That's it. We're done. Show's over, folks. You know what? Let's just stop talking. I'm so over you. I'm so over you. But anywho, congratulations on being a dad. Cut.